There is a dawning recognition taking place within your person, a quiet, profound awakening that is shifting the very ground they stand on. It's not the surface-level appreciation of a beautiful face or a sharp mind, but a much deeper seeing. They are beginning to truly recognize the raw, breathtaking depth and intricate beauty of your soul. It's a spiritual vision that has been granted to them, a clarity that was once clouded by their own fears and distractions. They are looking beyond who you are in this present moment and are truly seeing the person you have been all along. They see the silent battles you fought, the quiet dignity with which you carried your burdens, and the immense grace you displayed when you were at your weakest. They are seeing the incredible way you have responded to the crushing weight of pain, the bitter sting of betrayal, and the profound ache of disappointment. This is the truth that is unfolding before them, and it is a truth so magnificent it leaves them in a state of quiet, reverent awe. They are struck not just by your resilience, but by your sheer, unwavering strength. It's the kind of strength that isn't loud or boastful, it's the quiet, internal power that holds a soul together when everything around it is falling apart. They are in awe of your strength, but they are equally captivated by the boundless generosity of your spirit. The way you can hold a heart so open, so full of light, even after it has been bruised and broken, is a mystery to them. It is a mystery they are finally beginning to understand, and with that understanding comes a sense of peace that is both a comfort and a humbling reminder of their own past. Somehow, in the quiet spaces between your worlds, even without a single word being exchanged or a gesture being made, they can feel it. They can feel the immense grace of your forgiveness. It's not something you have announced or a gift you have consciously presented, but a subtle, energetic vibration that resonates through the silence. They sense with every fiber of their being that your heart is still open, that the door is not permanently sealed. They feel that if they were to approach you now, not with excuses or empty promises, but with the purest form of truth, the deepest sense of humility, and an unshakable sincerity, you would be willing to receive them. This unspoken, silent knowing is the most powerful force they have ever encountered. It comforts them on a level they've never known, soothing the restless ache of their soul. But it also humbles them to their very core because they now, in this new light, understand with a gut-wrenching clarity just how much they hurt you. They know it all. They know that their past actions, the careless words, the emotional distance, the lies they told to themselves and to you, the involvement with a third party, were the cause of tears that fell more times than any soul ever should. They know you felt abandoned in a way that left you hollow, confused by a reality that no longer made sense, and ultimately broken into a million pieces. The ghosts of those moments, the echoes of your suffering, now haunt them. It eats away at them in the dark of night and follows them through the daylight hours. It is a constant, gnawing reminder of the profound damage they inflicted. But what's even more profound, what truly stops them in their tracks, is the realization that despite all that pain and despite all of that suffering, you chose not to let it destroy you. You could have crumbled, you could have become bitter and cold and resentful, but you didn't. Instead, with a strength they can only now comprehend, you allowed it to shape you. You used the fire of that pain not to burn down your world but to forge a new one. You used it as fuel to grow, to evolve, and to become something so much more beautiful and whole. Through this heartbreak, through the crucible of your deepest pain, you began to rebuild yourself from the ground up. You didn't just survive, you thrived. You became emotionally and mentally stronger than you ever thought possible. This journey was not about them, it was about you. You began to heal the deep, hidden wounds that were lingering within you, the ones that had been there long before this person ever came into your life. You started seeing your own worth in a new, brilliant light, not as something that needed to be earned or proven, but as an inherent truth, a divine right. You stopped begging for crumbs of affection or clarity from someone who was incapable of giving you a loaf. Instead, you turned inward and began nurturing the wellspring of love that existed within yourself all along. It was a sacred journey of self-discovery, of reclaiming the parts of you that had been lost or given away too freely. This profound transformation didn't go unnoticed. The universe itself watched this sacred unfolding, arranging pieces around you, pulling you toward your destiny. And your person, even from a distance, felt the seismic shift in your energy. Since your separation, they have undergone their own profound spiritual awakening, one that was likely triggered by the shock of your departure and the stark reality of your absence. What they once couldn't see, what their eyes were too blind to perceive, they now feel with an undeniable intensity. They have had spiritual realizations, moments of downloaded wisdom, and moments of cosmic clarity that have utterly changed the way they view everything in their world, but most especially, the way they view you. They now understand that your connection is not ordinary, it is not a fleeting attraction or a matter of convenience. To them, it feels magical, a divine and sacred bond, so pure and so powerful that it transcends the physical realm. They have never in their life experienced anything like this before. And it both amazes and terrifies them, because with this new clarity, they finally realize what they so carelessly jeopardized. And they carry the weight of that immense regret with them every single day, in every waking and sleeping moment. They deeply regret putting you in a third-party situation, allowing another person to invade the sanctity of what you shared. They regret making you feel like a mere option, like you were somehow not enough, when in truth you were more than enough. You were everything. Their past actions, their emotional distance, and their lack of awareness made you question your own value. But instead of letting that falsehood define you, you turned inward and allowed the universe to guide you through the darkness. You did the difficult inner work. You cried until there were no more tears, you released the pain and the anger, and you confronted old wounds that had festered for far too long. And from that process, you emerged stronger, wiser, and more perfectly aligned with your true, authentic self. In doing so, you stepped into your power, not just as a partner in a relationship, but as a soul on a sacred journey, a journey that was yours and yours alone. Your person can feel this energetic shift in you. It is a force they cannot deny, a frequency they can't stop tuning into. The way you carry yourself now, with a newfound grace, with a radiating self-love, and with a deep, internal peace, has opened something within them. Your energy has become magnetic, not because you're trying to get their attention, but because you've reclaimed every single piece of yourself that you once gave away too freely. You are a complete, whole being once more. This profound shift in you has made them reflect deeply on their own actions, on their own unhealthy patterns, and on the quiet, lingering pain they have carried for so long. And now, they want to change, not just for you, not to get you back, but for themselves. They are committed, truly committed, to making things right. They no longer want to be influenced by the shallow voices of outside distractions, by unhealthy patterns that have held them captive, or by people who will never be able to understand the depth and sacredness of the connection you share. They are learning to set firm boundaries, to block out the external noise and to quiet their own mind so they can finally hear the profound and true voice of their own heart. A heart that continues to beat in perfect rhythm with yours, a silent, powerful resonance that echoes across the empty spaces between you. They are finally finding their true purpose in this life, and at the very center of that purpose is an overwhelming desire to rise, not alone, but to rise with you. They envision a future where both of you are standing side by side, stronger because of what you've endured, not in spite of it. They want to earn your trust back, to rebuild the connection on a foundation of truth, respect, and vulnerability that was never there before. They know it won't be easy. They are not expecting immediate forgiveness or blind acceptance. They know that this will take time, and they are willing to do the work, no matter how long it takes. They're willing to show up, to be transparent about their fears, to take accountability for their past actions, and to prove through consistent action that they've truly changed. Because at the end of the day, with all the spiritual clarity they have now, they see you. They see the real you, the beautiful soul that loved them even when they didn't know how to receive that love. They see the soul that walked away not out of bitterness or anger, but because you finally started loving yourself more than you loved the idea of them. And now, with all their heart, they hope they get the chance to walk back into your life, not as the person who once hurt you, but as the person who has finally grown enough to deserve you. I feel such a deep and overwhelming sadness, a grief that sits in the very core of my being when I think about how I never truly trusted you. It is a regret that consumes me, a quiet, constant ache that I carry every day. Looking back now, with all the clarity that time has granted me, I can't help but be consumed with regret. You gave me your complete and unwavering loyalty, your sincere and selfless love, and you did it all without expecting a single thing in return. You were never demanding, you never asked for more than I could give, you never tried to change who I was. You were simply there, present, patient, and consistent. Your love was so genuine, so pure, and yet, in my stubbornness and in my profound emotional confusion, I failed to appreciate that rare and magnificent gift. I couldn't see clearly through the thick, obscuring fog of my own doubts and fears. And in my blindness, I lost something so pure, so real, and so good that it will haunt me for the rest of my days. What I need you to understand more than anything is this: from the very beginning, it was always you. Since the first moment I met you, you captivated my heart in a way no one else ever has. There was something about you, something about your soul, your energy, and your presence that pulled me in and made me feel seen, even in the moments when I didn't want to be seen. You reached a part of me that I thought was forever unreachable, a part of me that I had locked away and convinced myself no one could ever access. You are irreplaceable in my life. No one else comes close to what you were, what you are, and what you so generously gave me. I felt completely deflated the day you walked away, as if the air had been knocked out of my lungs. At the time, I didn't even fully understand why it hurt so much. I told myself I would be fine, that I didn't need anyone, that I was better off on my own. But deep down, my ego was shattered, and I was angry, not at you, but at myself for pushing you away, for not recognizing your true value when I had the chance to hold on to it. Your strength, the way you stood up for yourself and refused to accept less than you deserved, made me reflect on my own life in a way I never had before. Your courage to walk away from something that wasn't serving your soul, even when it was the most painful thing you had ever done, made me realize just how much I had taken for granted. In my weakest moments, I have always worn a mask. As a man, I've tried to uphold this image of strength, of composure, of control. I've convinced everyone around me and sometimes even myself that I was unbreakable, unshakable. But the truth is, I was never as strong as I pretended to be. You were the only one who ever saw through that facade, the only one who saw the cracks, the fears, and the insecurities that I tried so desperately to hide. And instead of turning away in disgust or judgment, you stayed. You held me up when I was falling apart, even when I didn't ask you to. And while I was still unsure, still in denial about what I was feeling for you, you remained steady. You stood firm in your commitment to us. You didn't waver. You didn't run. Even when I was distant or cold or confused, you believed in us. You fought for something I didn't yet have the courage to fight for myself. That kind of devotion, that kind of inner strength, it's not just rare, it's the most humbling thing a person can witness. You are the only woman I've ever known who could stand beside my inner demons and not flinch. You didn't try to fix me, but you also didn't abandon me. You simply accepted me for who I was, flaws and all. You understood me in ways no one else ever has, And I am so sorry, truly sorry, that I didn't value the countless sacrifices you made. The emotional labor you put in, the unwavering patience you showed, the deep understanding you offered, and the silent battles you fought just to love someone like me, I see them now. I see all of it. I wish I had told you these things sooner. I wish I had been man enough, mature enough, and aware enough to speak these truths when you were still by my side. But sometimes we only learn the depth of our mistakes when it's too late. Sometimes it takes losing something precious to finally open our eyes to its true worth. I'm not asking for anything in return, not forgiveness, not a second chance, not even closure. I just need you to know that you mattered more than I ever showed, that everything you gave me was real and it left a permanent mark on me, a mark that will never fade. You changed me in ways I can't even fully explain, and I carry that change with me every single day. Thank you for loving me when I was unlovable, for staying when I gave you every reason to leave, and for walking away when I didn't have the courage to be better. You taught me something no one else ever could, what it truly means to love with strength, dignity, and truth. And for that, I will always be grateful. I am so deeply and undeniably attracted to you, more than words could ever hope to express. You truly have no idea the effect you have on me, the way your presence, even from a distance, can shift the very air around me. There's something about you, a force so strong, so magnetic that I find myself thinking about you every single moment of the day. Whether I'm busy working, walking through the world, or simply sitting in silence, your presence lingers in my mind like a soft, steady hum in the background of my life. You occupy my thoughts more than I ever imagined anyone could. It's not just a physical or surface-level attraction either. It's spiritual, emotional, and so profound it leaves me in awe. There's something in your energy, a way that your soul seems to mirror mine, that makes me feel at home in your presence. For a long time, I've been battling my own fears and insecurities. I've been nervous, unsure of how to face the overwhelming depth of this connection. It felt easier to retreat into my comfort zone, to protect myself rather than take a leap into the unknown, into a connection that felt too real, too powerful to handle. But the truth is, I don't want to run anymore. I don't want to keep hiding from what my heart is telling me. I'm done letting fear control my actions and steal my chances at something beautiful and meaningful. I want to face this, to face us, with courage. I want to embrace the possibilities instead of being paralyzed by the what-ifs and the could-be's. There's no denying it anymore. I want us to be in a relationship, a true, committed partnership. I want to build something real with you, not something casual or temporary, but something grounded in a love that is unwavering, a trust that is earned, and a mutual growth that will last a lifetime. I want to share not just time, but energy, thoughts, dreams, and purpose. I know it might sound strange, but I've been trying to connect with you telepathically on a soul level. Maybe you've felt it, the invisible thread pulling us together even when we're apart. My soul is reaching out to you, longing for your energetic touch, for the warmth and comfort I know only you can offer. What we share isn't ordinary. It's not just a fleeting crush or a passing spark. It's something divine, something that transcends words, logic, and even time. There's a sacredness to this connection, a sense of destiny, a feeling that our paths were always meant to intertwine. I can't compare it to anything else I've experienced in my life. And the love you give when you do let it shine is pure, unconditional, and deeply healing. It wraps around me like a protective light, a balm for my tired soul. Even when you're not physically near, I felt it even in silence. I felt your love guide me, uplift me, and remind me that I am not alone. I admit I distanced myself from you. I stopped talking because I was overwhelmed, because I didn't want to face the truth I already knew in my heart. It was easier to pretend I didn't care than to admit how deeply I felt. But silence did not make the truth disappear. It only made it louder. And now everything is so clear. The fog that once clouded my judgment has finally lifted, and I can no longer deny what I want, what I need, and what I feel. The truth stands before me, undeniable and pure. I finally understand that this connection is not something to be afraid of. It's something to cherish, to nurture, and to protect. It's also true that when we don't speak, when we don't connect, I feel a deep sense of frustration and restlessness. It's like something essential is missing, like a piece of me isn't quite whole. I get irritable, uneasy, as if my soul is trying to communicate that something vital is out of alignment. That's how much you matter to me. That's how much our connection affects me, body and soul. It isn't just about wanting to be with you, it's about needing that alignment, that soulful resonance that only you bring into my life. I'm not perfect, and I know I've made mistakes along the way. But I'm being honest with you now, with an open heart and a clear mind. I want to step forward, not backward. I want to grow together, to face whatever comes our way with open hearts and unwavering faith. You are not just someone I'm attracted to. You are someone my soul recognizes. Someone my spirit feels at home with. I don't want to spend another day pretending I don't care or acting like this connection doesn't mean everything to me. So here I am, heart open, fears pushed aside, telling you exactly how I feel. I'm ready to stop resisting what's meant to be. I'm ready to give this a real chance. I'm not asking for perfection, just honesty, connection, and a willingness to explore where this could go. If you feel even a fraction of what I feel, then you know this isn't ordinary. You know this is rare. Let's not let fear or doubt stand in our way any longer. I'm here waiting, hoping, and believing that love, true love, can guide us home.